This boy.
What's happening? What is happening?
This boy, man. That's your crap, brother. That is your CV.
Woo! Oh, that was a long ride. Get myself together here.
How you get out of that so quick?
What's up, y'all?
What's up? How you get out of that so quick?
Right.
Well, the Tiger dropped me off, and I told him to go ahead on and just park himself over by Veterans Memorial Stadium.
No, we already there. That's a long way.
Yo, that's a long way. Hold, let me get myself together because I am not together. Now I am together. What it do?
What it
Danielle,
do?
tell me what's the deal?
What's
Let's
good?
go.
Back. So before we do that, so let me welcome everybody because everybody is back with us. Welcome to Tiger Talk with the 1400 Club, episode number 4 of Band Sessions with Da Boom. I'm your host, Terrell Key, aka T Reezy. Make sure you subscribe to Tiger Talk on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And turn on those notifications so you don't miss one episode. All right. So I am joined with my lovely friends. These are my people. Toby Johnson, Danielle Walls, what it do? What up, though?
Let's
What's
go,
good?
buddy.
Hey, they let us back. They let us back again. What y'all think about that?
Man, folks, shoot, we success now, man. 4.
You think so?
Yeah,
Yeah, episode
we in
4.
there. We in
Episode
there.
4 official when you get to
Right?
number 4, or is it number
Yeah.
3? What makes it official? What makes it official? Man?
I
3 or
thought
number
3 made it official.
3 made it official.
Yes.
Okay. Danielle, 3 does 3 make it official, or is 3 makes it
Yeah,
official? So
three makes it official. Yes.
3 makes it official. All right,
Yeah.
cool. So I'm glad that we are here. I miss you guys as well. Couldn't wait to get back. We got another special guest. Before we get to that, Toby, Danielle.
You know what? I'm gonna start.
No, I don't. Toby, do
I
you
got-
see Danielle's background?
Yes.
Why don't we have that?
I don't know. She didn't tell us.
She didn't tell us. That was a surprise. It's cool.
I'm just keeping the branding forward facing. You know what I mean? That's all. That's the name of it. At least one of us could have,
Hey,
I
know
love
what?
it. We got you in the center right now, so like that, it makes sense.
It makes a whole lot of sense.
I tried it out and I was like, oh, perfect.
And it fits like it's perfect. I like that.
Love the boom.
Love the boom, baby.
Right, love the boom.
Love the boom. Toby, what you got, man?
Man, you know what? Like last episode, we came through with the question of the song that sticks with you wherever you go that you played while you was marching in the boom. I think Danielle said yours was PYT, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Terrell, you agree with her, and I think mine was a mint condition. Nobody does it better. And then I was looking in the comments, and it was this fellow boomsman that was putting different tunes that's their tune, and it brought back a lot of memories. So like this week got a different question for you. This one question code for you. So I'm gonna call it I got a question for you, just for our fans to kind of get to know us a little bit better. So today I felt, going to Jackson State and being in the band, I feel like every night at practice or at a game or after a game, and we was wrapping everything up, the adults would say something, or one of our section leaders or somebody that we admired within our sections or within the band would say something that kind of inspired us, or something that we can kind of hold on to as far as to make us make good decisions and great life choices. So my question today is, what piece or what is the best advice you receive from somebody that's associated with the boom? It can be a student, it could be a section leader, a band director, whatever it is. What was that advice, and how do you utilize that today?
Wow.
Yeah, you want to go?
I don't want to go first. That's a heavy question.
That is heavy. So one of the things that I always hold my hat on or hang my hat on is the fact that Dr. Lewis Liddell taught us a lot of stuff. And I learned a lot of stuff from section leaders and other upper classes. But Doc his voice carried. So the things that he would say would always resonate because you didn't have any other choice but to hear it in a loud fashion. So Doc said something that was really funny, but it made sense to me when I became an adult. Doc said, if you tell one somebody your business, it's okay. But if you tell two people, everybody gonna know about it. That's it.
That's fact.
I got that. It's the realest thing ever, and I did not understand that as a student. But that's my one thing that I can recall distinctively that Doc taught us. A million things, but that's my one.
Yes, he had to say it loud in order for you to remember it, for it to bounce back when you actually went through it.
Bounce back. He had to bounce around like from city to city, wherever all the places I moved. Yeah.
I think mine is this might be funny, but it was you got to have a paradigm shift. Because even though it was hilarious, because he just like, I don't know if he read a book, I don't know, but it was like the phrase of the year. Like he constantly said it.
Right.
And, once I understood, like what he was actually saying, I was like, oh, okay, you're right. And I think, it meaning like an attitude adjustment, right? And how just going through life, like different experiences and different, scenarios, environments will almost force you to change your attitude about, so, as you grow, as you mature, in general. So I think that was like my best piece of advice from Doc, even though it was very funny. Like we made a big joke out of it at the time. After the laughs and jokes, it's like, okay.
Yeah, so. that was a good one. The paradigm shift. I think if you put it up on a poll, that would probably be the number one from anybody. And we don't know. He probably just read a book that day when he said it. And then he just shared that information.
Changed my life.
A whole bunch of life, changed a whole bunch of lives. I don't think it's fair because I kind of like I thought about the question a couple of weeks ago in a drive, but because I've been thinking about it, consistently as far as like what was those words of wisdom that came. One came from our crab brother Carlton Williams, and I'm not going to talk about that one as much, but he would always tell me, and because I was that guy, he said you can disagree without being disagreeable. And at that time, at that age, I came across, if you didn't believe what I was saying, I was going to be disagreeable. I'm going to be petty as hell, But the one that kind of stuck out the most was from Pop Duplessis. He would always tell us, and I knew it wasn't just something that he read in the book. It was because he would say it all the time. And he would say, hey, like when you go home, you should be different. Like your parents didn't send you to Jackson State University. You're not getting student loans, or your parents ain't paying for you to go to college, for you to go down here, spend all this time, spend all this money, and come back and be the same. And, that taught me as far as like when we grow, if you're not growing, you're dead, So like consistently growing and moving forward and all that type of stuff. So like I credit Pop to like making us think and making me think at 18 years old. And I think he would say it in the band hall our freshman year, but he also, I think I took him for that freshman orientation class, that freshman class that you have like 300 freshmen in and no grades. And he would say it all the time. When you go home, you should be a little different. You should be a little different, not a sellout, but different. And that's something that I took from that. So that was awesome, man.
Hey, that was a good question.
That was a great question,
man. You know what? I'm starting to look forward to these questions,
man. Trying to make us think, man. Trying to make us think.
Yeah, it is because I had to go.
Yeah, make things to make you go.
Yeah. I appreciate that, brother. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna jump right into it. We're back once again, episode 4. We have another special guest, and we are, without further ado, we are going to bring our special guest on right now. Let's see who we have. Toby, Danielle, who do we have? Oh, we got Maurice Gibson. What's up, baby?
What's up, Terrell? What up, Toby? What up, Danielle?
What's up,
My
Reed?
God.
Look, hey, thank you for coming on, man. It's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while in person, which is
Oh
weird.
yeah. It's been a minute. You know, I stay out the way, man. You know how I do.
I know how you do. I know how you do. So look, Danielle, we have some percussion guys, and we are brass players with percussions. Percussions are on. Oh my goodness. I don't know how this show is going to go.
Man, we got the funk.
Right? You know how it's going.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord.
Oh my goodness. You know how look, Danielle, you know it's always the percussion guy that don't follow directions or they doing it.
Hey, Reezy, Danielle, I would tell you, man, like y'all would be like amazed because like, yeah, I'm WT for life, came in 98, March 2002. But like Maurice and I only know each other through passing, you know, like as far as like having like, you know, life deep conversations and stuff like that, that only happened like recently. I'm talking about like
one time.
Yes, right. And like but it's somebody that I follow like on social media, and somebody I always had like a great deal of respect from afar, you know. You have several different types of old heads, you know, those that want to, you know, be a part of all the decisions that's going on, and you have those that, you know, want to enjoy, and you have those that just sit back from afar and just choose to enjoy. I kind of consider myself the third, like sit back and watch and let the young guys do their thing. But like after I left, I think he came in right after we left. And just to see this guy like come in and do great things with the section and move the section forward. We'll talk about some of those things, but like he's somebody that I've admired from afar, not just as a percussionist, not just as a musician, but as a person, as a man, as a father, as a husband. He's a good guy, and like I said, I've been admiring that for years from far. So I felt like it was important that we get him on the show, because I know a lot of people look at him as a role model, and he might not even know that. But this was the purpose of the show, to give people their flowers, right?
Right. Flowers.
I appreciate
So Maurice, tell us about yourself, man. Where you came from? Tell me your story about the boom. Like growing up, what led you to, you know, playing percussion, and what led you to getting in the boom?
All right, we can start from the beginning, man. I come from a musically inclined family. So my mom, she sings and plays piano. My dad, he sings a little bit. He plays piano. He played drums. Went to Jim Hill. Played in the percussion section there. My sister went to Jackson State. And I went to Jackson State, of course. And my youngest brother went. But musically, man, just growing up around a bunch of musicians, man, I started playing drums. My mama seen I had, I guess what you could say some rhythm. So I'm playing on pots and pans. I got my first full kit at like 3 years old, and I was just on it. My dad used to be in there playing. I'd just be up in there tapping. Pretty much.
Said pots and pans? You said pots and pans. I'm sorry, I mean, you said pots and pans?
Yeah, pots and pans. You know how I
like
go.
The pans that your mom put the greens and the beans in.
You know, we sorted them out. We sorted them out, making them sound like different instruments on the kit.
Yeah.
But yeah. So from then, you know, I attended Northwest Jackson Middle School. That's when I first got into band.
Stop right there. I think somebody on this pod went to Northwest, right?
I did. Continue.
That's what's up. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I went to Northwest.
Okay. But yeah. Went to Northwest. Let me rewind. Before Northwest, I got my first pair of marching sticks around, I want to say about 10. And you guys, well, Terrell, you may know him, but William McKinney, that's CJ's older brother. He actually got us started. Like he played in Callaway band, he played snare, and he used to come back home and show CJ rudiments, and CJ will show me the rudiment. Now we young, like 10, 11. He started showing us rudiments. And so we was just feeding off of him basically. So by the time we got to middle school, we was ready. You know, they make you try out for all these different instruments. We already had in our head, we not playing no horn, we playing the drums. And I mean, as soon as we picked up a pair of sticks, the band director at the time, Mr. Jefferson, who was the band director at Murrah High School, he was like, yeah, you playing percussion or whatever. We got on as far as that. Learn everything. You know, you start learning how to read and whatnot. It came natural because I'm already from a musical background. It came natural. So from then, went to Callaway under Joe Mitchell. Man, some of the best years of my life. He actually introduced me to Doc. Well, let me back up. 9th grade year, I played quints. So I played quints, and let's see, 10th grade year, I played quints, and then I switched to snare 11th and 12th grade. You know, in high school, if you don't have a certain amount of people on the instrument, they'll just kind of, hey, can you do this? So I was one of those ones. Yeah, I play quints. Went on ahead and did it. Jumped to snare. Became section leader at Callaway. From then on, Mr. Joe Mitchell introduced me to Dr. Liddell. I remember it like it was yesterday. He came up to Callaway. Mr. Mitchell was like, this is one of my, I guess you can say one of my lead percussionists, all city. What was the other thing called that we used to? I forgot what the other thing called that we used to audition and play for chairs for. But anyway,
West, we didn't do our West. I don't think we did our West, did we?
Yeah, I think it was something like that. It was something like that.
That was the next level after our city. But go ahead, yeah.
But yeah, I remember being in the room, aside from the band room at Callaway, just me and Doc. Doc opens the book. All right, son, play this. I start playing. Soon I start playing, stop. It's good. Paradiddle. I start playing, stop. That's good. Yeah, like just like that, cutting me out. So I'm thinking, dang, what I'm doing wrong. Then 5-stroke roll, stop. That's good. I'm like, okay.
He didn't have time for you to slow it down.
Yeah. 5 minutes into the audition, he was like, you good, son? What's your GPA? I told him 3.2. And he was like, yeah, I'm going to give you a scholarship. Just keep working on your sight reading. You pretty good. Mr. Joe Mitchell was right, So,
hey, can't stop. Why everybody that talk about Doc start talking like Doc?
you have to.
You can't help it.
You have to. You have to. So then from there, I mean, I auditioned for Jackson State, and I mean, me and CJ, we've been wanting to go to Jackson State since we was hot. We used to be at the games. My dad buys season tickets every year. I've been to every game. I don't know how long, man. So that's just how it's been. Got to Jackson State.
What year did you get to the Boom?
2004.
2004.
Yeah.
We were gone.
2 years.
So
right.
We were gone, but I remember when you showed up. I remember, and you were just super duper humble, real quiet. Not quiet, but you know, you came in, you did your thing, and it was like, man, this guy's pretty good. But we were gone. Danielle was still around because she was on the band staff. But I was gone. Like I was living in Memphis at the time. I think Toby was.
I was still in Mississippi.
You were still in Mississippi. Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. So that is. So it's funny how. So y'all remember my story about how I got to Jackson State. This is the same thing. So I went to Callaway. Maurice went to Callaway. Right. So it's the same story. That's cool. Okay. So continue. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to jump.
No, go ahead.
No. So Toby, you about to say something? Don't you?
I was Maurice because like it seemed he said he was 10 years old when he got them sticks in his hand, and then you know he started learning rudiments, and he was learning those rudiments from CJ, and I know you and CJ are like best as a friend, real close, solid, because y'all known each other forever. Yeah. I think it's amazing to find somebody that has the same passion as you have at 10 years old. How'd that happen?
Man, so we're cousins. So
you know that.
What?
Man, yeah.
CJ related?
Man, we came out the womb like this. Like he was born. I tell everybody I would have been 2003, but my birthday late. So I'm like oldest in my class. My birthday is in November.
Yeah.
And I actually got in trouble for that. Saying that when I got to Jackson State. But anyway, CJ's birthday in May and mine's in November. So our moms were pregnant at the same time. So we've been with, I can show you pictures of us being babies on the couch, growing all the way up together, like
in diapers,
picking up sticks together. Both of us could draw, trying out for Power APEC together, going to Northwest together, going to Callaway together, going to Jackson State together. It's been the same thing the whole time. So, yeah, we shared the same. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention about his mom and his family, he came from a musical family too. I guess you could say it's like a bloodline thing, but his mom sings and stuff too. So his mom and my mom used to do duets all the time in church. We went to the same church, family church. His mom and my mom actually like were like sisters before his mom passed. So man, that's how it's been the whole time, man.
Shout out, that's awesome, man. That's awesome, man. Because I met you guys, I think at the same time, and you might think it's funny, but I knew who you guys were while I was marching in the band. I'm like, oh, those Callaway Blues, because y'all were everywhere. Y'all would show up at practices, and y'all would show up at games, and y'all be right there by the snare line with, like, it was Daddy Weary on one side, and it was you on the other side with a camera. So like anything that we played, we was like, oh, look at these Callaway Negroes. They about to steal something.
And Lee told me we'll go right back home, pop that mug in, pull the sticks and pad out. We try to learn everything. So that's how it was.
Wow. That's dope.
That is dope. So Maurice, so I don't know if this has been asked already. I feel like Toby asked this question already, but I'm all over the place. I get caught up in these stories and I forget what I want to say. So what was it other than I know you said that you came from a musically inclined family. So what was it that inspired you to be in the Boom?
Okay. So around the time I was getting out of high school, that's when social media started kind of, popping off. Just
2004?
Huh?
2004?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Like Planet.
Yeah, we started seeing videos of different schools. Of course, we had been seeing the schools because we've been to the games. So, and we've been to all the parades for Jackson State. So it wasn't nothing compared to
Facebook.
And the swag that WT had and the swag that the Boom had, even down to the colors. I was like, man, I can't even see myself wearing no more of them schools' colors. But aside from that, just being in a family that went to Jackson State, it's almost like if you don't want to choose Jackson State, that's okay, but it's like in your blood, like you want to choose it. So just me going to the games and hearing the Boom and watching the percussion section, like my love for the section and how they sounded and how the Boom sounded, it just was a different swag to what every other band I heard. Like it wasn't no comparison. Like from 7th grade all the way up to college, it was like, I'm going to Jackson State. Ain't no doubt about it. Like, I'm not going to this band. They don't sound good to me. I'm not going to this band, this percussion section. The swag ain't there. It don't fit me. I'm going to Jackson State. And then it really didn't help to have people there that you already knew and looked up to. So, I mean, it was just second nature.
That's what's up, second nature. I can definitely feel that. Like it's almost like, especially living in Jackson. So of course, both of us from Jackson, Toby from Brandon, Danielle from Detroit. Being in Jackson is almost like you don't have a choice. And then when you got siblings and parents and relatives that have all matriculated to Jackson State, it's almost like what else are you gonna do? Like, there's nowhere else to go.
I don't think you can ask anybody from Jackson, Central Mississippi area. If you say, hey, like, if you're going to march in the band, what you going to march? They're going to say Jackson State. Like,
yeah,
it's going to be their first choice.
I can't say
hands down. Like you ask anybody that's from Jackson, the best sounding choir, it's gonna be the Mississippi. Like, Jackson folks love their stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's good, it's gonna be great to another level. Yeah, they good, but they ain't the Mississippi Mass.
Yeah.
Yeah, they good, but they ain't the boom.
Yeah.
So you know what's crazy is it's crazy, Maurice. So like Danielle's story was similar but kind of different because she came all the way from Michigan. So it's kind of like that pipeline extends all the way up north. Like the story that you told about how you got there, and I'm thinking about Danielle's story and how she got to Jackson State and got in the boom. There was some connection. There was somebody right before us, or somebody right before you was there, and they were like, "Yo, this is what you need to do. This is where you belong. You could do great here." Like it's almost like it's kind of similar, but being from the city or from the town is different versus being away from the town. But it's still kind of it's amazing because the stories are they kind of connect some kind of way. So that's some you know what? Hold on.
Right. That connects some kind of way, but it's also like when you think about, I mean, colleges have students are from everywhere, right? But when the closeness, right? Like we definitely feel like a family, right? As alumni, as just in the band, being a member of the Boom, we feel like that's like an extended family, right? And like how each of us are from a different walk of life. I'm from Detroit, 1,000 miles away. People from LA, people from all over. But we have this common thing. And the thing is, we weren't going anywhere else but Jackson State. Like, you know what I mean? Like, once I decided on once I saw Jackson State, I was like, oh, that's it. Like, there's nothing like I'm not considering anywhere else, and it was like, got accepted. That's great from other, schools, but there was no way I was going anywhere else. People were like, yo, you get a free full ride if you come to da da da. And I'm like, absolutely not. I will go in debt.
I will pay
to be in school.
You gotta be here.
I will be in debt.
I will get a 30-year student loan.
Listen.
Wait a minute. So Maurice, so check this out. All right, so now you were inspired. You got to the Boom. Freshman year. Walk us through that experience. Freshman year, sir. Your first time on the campus or at band camp. We got there before school started, of course. Walk us through that, sir. Freshman year.
Okay. Of course I was ready, beyond ready. I think I knew everything I needed to know. Freshman year, I walked on campus. A couple people I already knew because we met up before whenever band camp started. We met up, chopped it up, exchanged chopping methods. For people who don't know what chopping is, that's when drummers get together, exchange ideas, rudiments. So I knew a couple of people already. So walking on campus, I was confident. Like Doc had already cut me off 3 times, told me I had a scholarship. Hey, I'm like, okay. I walk in and Kevin Fuller in there.
Oh, Boosie.
Kevin Fuller,
96.
96. Snare drum.
Mr. Joe Ringo, of course, Dr. Liddell, CJ, because he was a section leader, and Willie Armstead. So they was all there when we got there as freshmen. I remember us sitting down in the hallway, people playing on the floor and all that. And I'm thinking, hey, y'all better chill out, man. Like, it's about to get real. Like, me and Jeremy Thompson, for y'all who know him, my crab brother, Day.
Yeah.
We two of the ones that
his brother, our crab brother, Rod T.
Rod T.
Yep.
That's they're my cousins too, by the way.
In real life? Like
really?
you play cousins.
Yep. No, we real cousins, for real.
Yeah.
Yep.
We were two of the ones that kind of knew like that the Boom was gonna be kind of intense. So we kind of laid back. and just focus on making the band. We got a scholarship, but you got to earn that drum, earn that spot. So that's what we're focused on. And I mean, from there, just doing everything the band directors telling us to do, and doing everything the section leader told us to do. We was just making sure we was good up until that first game. So learning everything we had to learn, perfecting everything we had to perfect. Man, just making sure we had a drum, bro.
Man, I was from Brandon, 12 miles away, but like y'all Jackson boys, y'all had a cheat code. Cause I don't know, like Danielle, did you know? Like I feel like when we stepped in the Hines County, everybody that came from Jackson, if they came from Provine, Jim Hill, Wingfield, Callaway, Lanier, any of those schools, they knew that stuff was about to get real. Like I didn't know stuff was about to get that real.
Yes, you did.
I
knew
did
that. You were
not
right
know,
around
man.
the corner.
My sister held that stuff a secret.
No,
and I was like,
wow.
I knew it wasn't gonna be easy, but I didn't like all y'all like knew like, hey, better be quiet, you know.
Yeah, I
better shut up. Better put a white tee on. Like y'all had the cheat code. Did you know that in Detroit?
I did, yeah.
Oh my God.
Man. Yeah.
So
when I auditioned for Jackson State, I stayed, and he was my like boyfriend in high school, and he went to Jackson State like in the spring. And I came down there, stayed in his dorm room in Stewart, auditioned, like me and two of my like classmates from high school. Like we stayed in his dorm room, auditioned, and like met everybody. Like all of 97, it felt like I met everybody from 97. The spring of 98.
So yeah,
they were cool until band camp. They were great. They were cool. They were like, oh man, but they definitely let me know what was up.
Yeah, and I mean CJ, he was there year prior in 03. Mm-hmm. So that whole year when they used to have like what we call them off week. Yeah, those weeks, all his class or whatever would be over his house, and he'd be like, "Hey, come over here." So they already knew who I was. Hey, play this. Oh, you gonna be straight. Hey, play this. Oh, you gonna be straight. But it ain't get real until you step on the yard. But like I said, a lot of people already knew who me and Jeremy were.
Mm-hmm. That's good. So it sounds like to me that being that you guys were already on top of your music game, that kind of pushed you forward into coming into the boom. It's kind of like, okay, well, if you know your stuff, you know your rudiments, you know your chops, you own your chopping. If you own your chop game, then it's like, okay, you good, kind of, right? Is knowing your music and being in your chop game, is that like a plus? And so once again, these guys, Toby and Maurice, they played the snare drum. I don't know anything about the percussion. I'm a brass player. Like Danielle, she played trumpet. So being on your chop game, being on your rudiment, all that good stuff, does that give you an exception, or does that put you above people if you already know how to, chop it up and chop and all that good stuff? Tell me about that. I don't know. I'm not a percussionist. So
what is that like? No, not really, because
no,
because okay, even though they know you can play, the whole aspect of the section was, hey, you want your brothers and sisters to march beside you. So just because you were as good, you need to go to their room tonight. You need to help them out. You need to help them do what they had to do. If he didn't have it, he better have it tomorrow, since you know it. It was that type of thing. So that really put the pressure on you. It really didn't help. It just put the pressure on you.
Yeah. The best person in the room get the most pressure, because they got to make everybody else on their level.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I like that. So that's crazy. So once again, so Maurice came in 2004, and we came in 98. So Maurice just said something that resonated in my brain. It took a memory back. So you said that if you know something, then this guy next to you needs to know the same thing that you know. So what that does is, at that time, and this is being 100 honest with y'all, and don't you tell me step in if I'm all the way wrong with this. At that time, we thought that that was more so like more work. Like, okay, I gotta teach him. Well, why he don't know it, and I know it. Why I gotta teach him? But that was something that was a life skill. Like, you don't let your brother or your fellow bandmate, classmate, whatever person, friend, cousin, relative, you don't let them suffer. If you know it, he needs to know it. So it's like you fast forward life into where we are as adults. And it's like, that lesson right there helps us in life. We're at work, on a job, we got careers and all this good stuff. Well, a coworker may be lacking. Well, that skill that we were taught, come on, Maurice, back in 2004, that skill, we were like, no, hold on, give me 1 second. Let me show him how to do it. Boom. So it's like you take the stuff that you learned from being in the boom. Hallelujah. I'm you know what? That's a word.
Yeah.
I'm just
everyday life.
So life
everyday
lesson,
life.
life
Yeah,
lesson.
we talked about this. Yeah, didn't we talk about this? We talk about this every single episode. There's somebody that has a story of some sort where it's like, okay, the next person needs me, or I need the next person so I can move forward in whatever the journey that I have. This boom life is real. It's real, man.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Seriously.
Facts.
Mhm,
Facts.
mhm, mhm. I'm with that.
And networking, and just having somebody that came through the boom with you, man. You friends with them for life. Like,
Facts.
we all still talk.
Yep.
Yep, some type of way, like cross generations though. Like I said, like just recently, but I've been following you for years, and we tweet back forth like on Instagram, Facebook, and stuff like that. We like each other's stuff, but like it's cross generations. I never marched with you. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, just recently had a real, in-depth conversation with you. Question though, like a lot of people don't know. WT probably went 15, 20 years. No new cadences. We were just playing the same stuff over and over again and making sure that it was perfect. It was perfect. Like before we performed that at the vet or wherever we were going, that cadence had to be perfect. You name it, had to be perfect. Cross tight, cross confusion had to be perfect. Laws 1, 2 had to be perfect. All those cadences that we were playing had to be perfect, and it was attempts of creating new cadences, new funk trains, and everything. Even when I was in the boom, we attempted that stuff, but it never crossed the line of being shown in public. 2004 came, then 2005, and I credit you. And I don't know. I'm gonna let you go ahead and tell the story. I credit you, but I don't know. You give credit to where credit is due. But like your crew, y'all came in with a plan not to change WT, but to expand WT. And it's hard in leadership to come into something that has a culture that is so strong and so accepted. And we okay with where we are. It's hard for a person to come in. It's like, yeah, this is where we are, but this is where we're going. And you had a vision when you came in. How did you execute that? And what was it like? What was your experience in that?
Well, I would say we were introduced. I want to say, let's say spring 05.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right after the 2004 season, we were introduced to a new cadence from Willie Armstead, which was a marching cadence called Lil Booney. And then a couple more cadences. I think it was like at least 2 or 3 more. While we were getting introduced to those, since us from Jackson knew the culture and the history, we was actually kind of spooked. Like, man, this man trying to change what's going on here. We was like, I don't know if we trying to learn this stuff. But we followed through. And as a section, we had plenty of lemon squeezes, meetings to kind of talk about where we want to go as a section. But why we wanted to go there as a section was because of what happened in 2004. So in 2004, some people know the story. We ended up going to a battle of the bands. I think it was in Shreveport. And the two colleges that were there were us and Texas Southern. So we warming up, Texas Southern band on the field. We doing what we do. We in block warming up. Doc comes over there, and I got to give his voice again. On stage. Y'all know how to do a battle against Texas Southern. Now, this is the beginning of the season. You know how we operate. We don't teach much. Nope. All I knew as a freshman was creative funk, solo 1, solo 2, and series. That's it.
It's a cadence a week.
That's all we knew. And here comes Doc saying, on stage, y'all got to battle. Y'all got to do, after we come off the field, Warren Thunder and Texas Southern drum says, y'all got to get together. And y'all going to face off. Everybody was like, what? What is he saying?
Not prepared.
And so we had to do it. First cadence, creative funk. Texas Southern goes. They cursed us out, and then they played some chopping stuff. And we just stand there in attention. We like, okay. Second cadence was solo cadence number 2. Now, when I call these cadences out, me and Toby, we both know that those cadences are functional, but they are not technical. They are not battle cadences to go up against a section with, we finished that cadence, Texas Southern plays another cadence. They steady chanting. So after that, we march off, and it was a disaster. Like, everybody who saw that, I guarantee you, every student in those stands at that battle of the band probably was like, oh, I'm going to Texas Southern. Whoever was percussionist, they probably like, I'm going to Texas Southern. Texas State look good, but they can't play, basically. And we know, Toby and I know, all of us got chops, but our cadences didn't showcase those chops. So what happened was, we got back on the bus, and since my class, we were freshmen, we didn't think too much about it. We couldn't do nothing about it, you know what I'm saying? We just doing what the upperclassmen taught us. And the class of 03, they were pissed off, you know what I'm saying? Willie was pissed off. Everybody was pissed off. But Doc is the head band director. We can't do nothing about it. From that day on, we made it priority to bring new material. So we was like, okay, we got to bring new material. That's point blank period. That's not ever going to happen again. So from that day on, we was like, okay, when we see Texas Southern in 05, they get it. For real, they gonna get it. So we started creating then. And when we started creating, some old heads, they didn't understand, but they weren't at that performance. They didn't understand the animosity we had against that school and against the whole swag or whoever else. We was trying to prove a point. And I have to bring up my current brother Cedric Reed because he came from Houston and he was used to battling. Like, they squared up against people all day, every day. That was their thing in Houston. So when that summer hit, going into 05 and we were upperclassmen, Sid was like, hey, let's go, Reese. Create. I'm going to create. We was on the phone creating. I was creating cadences. He was creating cadences. And we were just going back and forth like, this is what we're going to submit to CJ. We're going to let the section hear. We're going to start teaching. And everybody was on board in the section because all of us went through what we went through in 2004. But everybody wasn't on board old head wise.
Old head wise, yeah.
Yeah, right. So that's how I started.
I remember that.
We just had to maneuver through the old heads and just I mean, we talked to some of them, let them know what happened after they found out what happened, and the videos came out or whatever. It was like, I got you, cool. But moving forward, that next year when they came to Jackson and we was on that field, oh, the old heads, they was loving it. I'm talking about we gave them the business. We had like 6, 7 new cases. We danced on them, we chopped on them, we did everything you can do. We was gonna get our get back. Also, on top of that, I think 05 was the first year we went to the Honda. And we knew word, I think we knew word had got around that WT had got destroyed by Funk Train in 2004. So when we got to the Honda, we had to prove another statement. You know, at the Honda they have a mass band, right?
Mm-hmm.
What all the bands are on the field.
Get together and
you learning the song basically. You practicing that one song together. Mm-hmm. Man, Carl Nash, I remember like he was telling the drum section. I remember like it yesterday. He was like, "We finna solo right in the middle of all this, right in the middle."
So
Next
disrespectful.
You know, WT is clowning at the Honda. At practice, all you heard, that's all you heard. And so I was like, CJ, come on, let's crank up. So CJ threw a center call out. Here we go. We going. Now all the schools taking notice, like, okay, this Jackson State, they from the swag. They crazy, really. Cause this band right now, they're trying to conduct the song. They going crazy. Doc runs back there. Hey, stop all that. But you gotta think, the whole time we thinking about what these people think about us. Mm-hmm. So after that, we go to the hotel. We get the camera out, and I still have footage. I gotta show you the footage.
I've seen this like on.
Yeah, we get the camera.
I saw this on the Facebook, not Facebook.
Listen, we go to all these schools' room. We knocking on doors. Where y'all drummers at?
What? Y'all knocking on these folk doors?
I heard about that.
With y'all. You know what? Danielle.
We're gonna show y'all Jackson State. Ain't nobody to play with.
Danielle, that's why we don't fool with them.
We get them down to the lobby. We get them to the lobby. We chop. That's all we doing. We chop. We showing them. Look, Jackson State
in the lobby.
Don't see the lobby because what y'all saw, and from then on, I mean, the evolution just skyrocketed.
Imagine being on the band staff and learning that the percussion section and another school section is battling in the lobby. Like what?
Yeah, it was deep. It was deep down there too, y'all.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Got the footage.
So Danielle had so Toby and I were gone. So I'm listening to this story, and I'm like, why I never heard this before? I don't remember. I don't remember.
I never heard this story.
What'd you say, Danielle? What'd you say?
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't know if I heard this story. I didn't know this.
Yeah,
I never heard of us being defeated by anybody ever in life. Ever. And the fact that you said that, it sounds like WT that y'all weren't prepared because Doc put y'all on the spot and y'all hadn't practiced. Like, I don't get that. But Danielle, were you on the band staff? Were you on the band staff in 04? Or you got there on 05?
Yeah.
In 05?
I got there in 04.
You probably wasn't paying that close of attention, you know.
Now in 04, I was not paying that much attention to the directly to the percussion section. So that was something definitely they went through. Like they all experienced and they went through. But I do remember the battle at the Honda. I had a question about, so that was like, okay, a growth moment, right? It's a teachable moment. Being chopped out or what, I don't know what you call it. What do you call it?
I just say they won the battle.
They won the battle, right? So, that's growth. You have to adjust, and y'all made an executive decision, like, nah, remind me, and maybe you could talk about like how many percussion instructors did you go through while you were at Jackson State?
2. So yeah, so when I got there, Joe Ringo was there, and then in 05, we didn't have a percussion instructor. It was just us. Then in 06, Mr. Rockwell came.
So the question is, how was that? First of all, working with Mr. Ringo, transitioning into not having a percussion instructor at all. Then now you have Mr. Owen Rockwell, who is, not fully, familiar with our culture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like how you said that.
And you know what I mean? He's white.
Yeah.
He's, that's two very different instructors. You know what I mean? Like, what was that experience like?
Well, being around Mr. Joe Ringo, I guess I don't want to say the only thing I learned, but one of the things I learned was he liked to keep the equipment clean and he liked to keep it tuned. And he used to tell us all the time, you can't go to war without your bullets. That was his main statement. That was like a quote. That's all you say. You can't go to war without your bullets.
I didn't know you did voices, do you?
Yeah.
He sounds just like him.
But
I forgot what he sounded like.
You can't go to war without your bullets.
I forgot what he sounded like because we did this.
I did too. I knew.
But I mean,
I wasn't ready for that, Maurice. I wasn't ready for that. That was. I'm sorry. Continue, please. I'm sorry.
But to us, Mr. Ringo, he was a percussion instructor, but the skill set was it wasn't top notch. Let me put it like that. So we would listen to him, but it was like marching band wise, it really wasn't too much we could learn. But when it came to symphonic and percussion ensemble, okay.
Maurice, so you saying he wasn't swag?
Yeah, something like that. something like that. So when he left and we figured out we weren't gonna have a percussion instructor, we was like, oh yeah, it's on and popping now.
Problems.
It's on and popping now.
Ooh.
And so in 2005, we started creating. Doc gave us a lot of space. Like, I think we won section of the year that year at the banquet. But Doc gave us a lot of space to do what we had to do because Doc seen that massacre in 04. He seen it. He know what happened. And transitioning from not having a percussion instructor to Mr. Owen Rockwell, oh man. Let's see. Doc had a meeting with us, and he said that they was looking to hire somebody, and he wanted us to come meet with him after class. And he scheduled or whatever. We walked in the music hall, and he was sitting at the bottom, and all of us were like, hold on. But we didn't think nothing of it. We was like, okay, we're gonna give him a chance. We heard he was DCI, played for the Blue Devils. They well respected, you know what I'm saying? So, but we knew he didn't know our type of feel, the culture, the swag that the section brought. So Doc actually kind of set him up when he was setting us up because he wanted us to come meet him, but he said bring the equipment. So we brought the equipment, and he was like, series. I want him to hear what Jackson State is all about. Played series for him the whole time. He was down there like. He was like, and when we finished, he was just like, man, I never heard anything like that. The power, the flashes. He called them visuals, the visuals. And so he was just giving us our thoughts. But then he messed up and said what he could add to the section. And so we listened. He was like, maybe I could add some, some color, some tonal bass drums. Everybody started like, oh, nah. We ain't doing it.
You said some what bass drums?
Tonal bass drums.
Okay.
No,
39042.
This is swag.
This is swag. We don't.
But I mean, he was a great instructor though. Like what I can say about him, he knew his stuff. Like he was willing to learn everything we knew, and he could chop. He created a couple of warm-ups for us that was technical. He didn't listen to everybody, but I was one of the ones he did listen to. We had a good relationship, and I mean, it went from there.
Maurice, why did he listen to you?
I guess because I wasn't disrespectful.
Disrespectful to who?
Mr. Rockwell.
Oh.
Yeah. I wasn't disrespectful. At times, I would let him know
you got home training.
What the backfire was about, or why the section felt a certain type of way. And then, you know, he respected me for it. And I also taught him some of the marching cadences. Like we actually stayed late and we went over the stuff with him so he can get accustomed to how the stuff went, how it's supposed to sound, different techniques. You know, his whole the way he played was just different. So he respected me for that too. I want to say me, CJ, and a couple other people stayed with him and helped him learn the culture.
Maurice, that's why you're a good leader, man.
Most definitely.
Hands down.
Maurice, man, look, man, I appreciate you. We appreciate you. Do you have any last parting words that you would like to share, sir, before we get off here? What would you like to share, sir?
I guess I'll talk to the fellow musicians, bandsmen out there, you know, the kids, because I noticed a decline. So, I mean, if you out there and you're in a band or you're interested in music and that's your passion, man, learn all you can learn. Learn how to read, learn your fundamentals. Man, make band the thing again. It was the thing when we was coming up. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Hey, do everything you can do.
It.
Be the best.
Right.
I love it. Make band the thing again.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a hashtag right there.
Write that down.
Make band a
Look,
thing
grab it
again. Love it, man.
Hey, I appreciate y'all for having me on. I'm honored. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Toby,
my brother.
Be a stranger.
No, we
don't be a stranger.
We not, man. We locking it in now, man. I really appreciate you.
Locking it in. All right, we out of here. All right, y'all. That's it. Tiger Talk with the 1400 Club. This is Band Sessions with the Boom. We have a special guest, Maurice Gibson, and now we're out. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for coming out. God bless. Good night.